Here's a quick guide to starting Montessori at home with your baby or toddler. The focus on 0 to 3 is important because most learning occurs in the first 3 years of life, and a child's brain reaches about 80% of its adult size by age 3. The Montessori method provides a roadmap for following the child through their development and provides methods and ideas for supporting them in this important time. Montessori is not just an educational approach, but a philosophy that recognizes and respects the child as both a hope and a promise for mankind, summarizing a lifetime of work in a nutshell. Here's a general summary of the steps I'll cover. Become familiar with Montessori's main ideas, reflect on how they might apply in your house, create a plan, declutter, adapt your home for your baby or toddler, provide materials or activities, and create a daily routine. We'll end with some FAQs. Become familiar with Montessori's main ideas. Read her books like The Absorbent Mind or The Secret of Childhood, or browse sites like Aid to Life, which was created by the Association Montessori International. For your convenience, I'm going to tell you some of the big ideas in the next screen. Children have absorbent minds from birth to 6. There are sensitive periods during which a child's interests seem laser focused on developing certain skills. Children learn just as much from their environment as they do from caretakers and peers. Follow the child, provide customized support for the skills they're trying to master, and foster independence. Help them help themselves. Once you become familiar with the main ideas, sit and reflect on how you might apply those in your home and with your child. Kick off your Montessori journey with a reflection activity, asking the following. How old is my child? What skills do they seem to be trying to master right now? What materials or environmental adaptations would help them meet their needs? After your reflection activity, create a plan. Here's just one way to do it. At the beginning of each week, remark on what your child is doing in each category below, and then make a comment on what you might do to support their growth in that area. Use a developmental timeline or activity guide to help you outline your own plan. You can find sample activity timelines in this chart from Montessori from the Start, the Montessori Foundation's Infant Slope and Sequence, a book called Baby's First Year Milestones, and more. I'll also include a PDF to our timeline in the description below. Before your official launch, declutter. Give yourself a fresh start. Organize your home and make it easy for yourself to focus on what you really want to do. Get your whole house in order. Donate distracting, flashy toys that take away from the toys and materials that require manual manipulation and concentration. Donate toys they've outgrown or ones that are missing pieces. And get rid of or hide the toy box so you aren't tempted to dump stuff into it instead of put them away properly. Now that you've got a clean slate, it's time to adapt your home for your baby or toddler. Next, curate and store a collection of materials. Display a few of those materials on a simple shelf, and then rotate them out as needed. Teach how to keep the space clean. Always put materials away before getting out the next material, or at least try. activities match to the skills they're currently trying to master. Select materials based on their age and stage. Use one of those timelines I mentioned earlier as a guide. Hold off on that Montessori shopping spree and start with things you already have. If or when you find that those are not enough, get a few or new pre-owned items. A few at a time is usually a good idea. There are general guidelines for presenting Montessori activities or work in Montessori terms, and you can find those online. As a general rule, when demonstrating how to use a new material, use slow hands and omit words. Use the acronym SHOW to remember that. Use the utensils, tools, and household items you already own. You might be surprised at how many can be repurposed as materials for a Montessori environment. Here are a few Montessori or Montessori-inspired materials you can DIY at home. Treasure baskets, cups and balls, nesting measuring cups, toothpicks and spice jars, pom-poms and ice cube trays, balls and muffin tins, tissue boxes and scrap cloths, popsicle sticks and containers with a lid and a slot, sponges, spoons, tongs, cups, bowls, teapots, trays, baskets, and more. In the words of R.A.L. Wentworth, author of Montessori for the New Millennium, Montessori is a type of education, a set of principles, and a philosophy. It is possible to create a Montessori environment even in a jungle far away from civilized life without any resources for buying materials from a factory and still have a genuine Montessori environment. I'll be sure to put a few links to DIY Montessori resources in the description below. Having a regular daily routine is a hallmark of the Montessori environment. A consistent daily schedule helps children feel safe, secure, and subsequently more able to focus on the purposeful activities prepared for them. With a daily routine, they don't have to spend brain power wondering what's the plan, which can really take away from their ability to concentrate. One weekly schedule, think about how you might want to chunk your time. Typical chunks might include the morning routine, Montessori work time, meal time, nap time, art and music time, story time, free play, and special outings, just to name a few. If you're curious and need something to base your own daily routine on, here's what a sample daily schedule looks like in a typical Montessori toddler classroom. Is it ever too late to start? Not at all. Don't feel like you have to create a full Montessori home overnight. Implement things one at a time. Start with preparing one new thing in the environment, like a stool, or providing one new activity, and build up from there. Isn't Montessori expensive? It can be, but remember, Montessori isn't about providing a shelf full of fancy wooden toys. It's about fostering independence and being more intentional with purchases and experiences. If you like this video and want more, click subscribe. Click the bell to receive notifications.